So hey guys, welcome to our new podcast channel known as the Traders Podcast, where we'll be talking mainly about the financial markets both in Kenya and around the world. But basically, first starting off, I want to introduce who we are, what we do, so that you can be familiar with us, and then from then on we'll pick up and we'll talk about how we got into Forex, how the journey has been so far, and why we keep doing it. So Financial Hub Limited company was started a few years ago. The company itself, we started it about 2 years ago in our small offices back in Zimmerman. So not really an office, it was more of a house. And that's where we started. And right now we can see we've grown quite big. Not really big, but we're growing. Our offices are in town. So we are Jquat Towers, 17th floor. And that's where we carry out everything. So basically what we normally do under Financial Hub, we have two main things that we do at the moment. Three. So the first one is we normally trade. So our own personal funds. That's what we've been doing for the past 4 years, because that's what we got to know about trading. So that we started 2016, 2017, the three of us. We'll get to introduce ourselves. And that's what we do. So trading our personal funds, we have an alpha fund where we trade our own money and make profits from that. Apart from that, we train people. So we teach people how to trade. So we have strategies that we've learned along the years, and that's what we teach people. Because if you come into Forex, or if you come to any new thing, if you get into it and no one is guiding you, there's a lot of things out there, so you know what to do. So we compile this into a book, into a course. So we teach people and guide people how to become traders. And recently, the third main thing that we started, we fund people and we give them capital in order to start trading. So if you're looking for capital and if you're looking to learn Forex, here we are. This is Financial Hub, and we're looking forward to teach you. And as we go on in the podcast, I'll continue talking about different stuff and you'll get to know us fully, but that's basically what we do. So that's it from me. I'll leave the next to Ken. My name is Caleb. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Caleb, here with my partners, Taras and Ken. And yeah, you'll get to hear from us. We have a lot to share in the next few hours, in the next many podcasts that we're going to produce. So yeah.
So hi guys, my name is Kenneth Monene, just like Caleb said. So I'm a trader also. I'm the co-founder of Financial Hub. We've actually done a book. Caleb forgot to mention that. So we've written a book called A Template for Understanding the Forex Market. The whole idea of the book is to guide you through understanding how to trade the markets. So when we started trading back in 2017, there was nothing at all to guide you on how to go about your trading. So it was very, very, very hard for us to learn how to trade the markets. And when we started understanding what was happening in the markets, we decided to put together what we had learned into a book and sell it to people at 1,500. Unfortunately, we didn't carry the copy today. So in the next episodes, you'll be seeing the copies. We'll be having them on site. We'll be having them set. Pardon?
Will they see it?
The short snippets that we'll be shooting. So you'll see the book. You can access it. It only goes for 1,500. We'll show you how you can get it, and we'll tell you how you can get it. Besides that, now we're working on a podcast, like Caleb said. So the podcast will be called The Traders Show. So we'll be focusing on sharing with you valuable insights into markets. We'll be discussing and hosting some great traders that we've met over the years. We've met a couple of people who are doing trading for a living, and they're doing it well, just like we do it. We know it's very, very hard for you to meet someone who's doing trading for a living. The dynamics of the market are not so easy for anyone to master markets and make a living out of it. So we know the challenge that is there. And we're going to share with you some of the things that we think are very, very valuable and very, very important for you to at least stand a chance to succeed in the markets or to make some money in the markets. So that's basically what we'll be doing. I don't have much to say. Besides trading, we're passionate about, or rather I am passionate about entrepreneurship. I really like talking with people about such things. I'm passionate about psychology, understanding how people think, behave, and do their things. And I spend a lot of my time talking with people and understanding how people make decisions and why they make certain decisions. and I've learned a few valuable things which I think are not only important for trading but for other things. So within the podcast, you may hear me refer to some of these things, and that's where I spend my time besides trading. So I'll pass it on to Lawi, who will introduce himself and share his personal insights. So today's episode will mainly focus on like our early trading experience. So the first 5 years that we've been trading, how are the first probably 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, building it up all the way to the 5 years that we've been trading up to now, like Caleb said, from when we started in a 2-bedroom house up to getting an office. We'll try and share some of the things we've learned along the way. So I'll pass it on to Lawi.
Greetings. My name is Lawi Tarus, partner here at Financial Hub, a trader. Traded since 2016, but professionally since 2017. So I'm a risk manager here at Financial Hub. Basically, trading is a very, very risky endeavor. So that's my main job at Financial Hub, managing risk for the fund and also teaching traders my strategy. It's called value area trading. So it's what I use to check markets to make trading decisions. Also, I also love business, entrepreneurship. I also love reading a lot. And with that, I'm sure I'll share some good insights with you guys through the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, guys. So I didn't say I prefer to go by the name CK. So if you continue listening to this podcast, refer to me as CK. Caleb is just an official name that I don't use that much. But anyway, so that's the team. That's Taras, that's Ken. Ken is Ken, what do you do? What do you do in Financial Hub?
So in Financial Hub, I have multiple roles. So it's still a startup. So Caleb is trying to set me up, but I have multiple roles. One of the things that I'm really, really focused on is managing the fund. So like Caleb said, we have about $20,000 that you're managing in the fund. We've split it into several assets. Yeah. Pardon?
No, just okay. No, it's plus.
Okay, yeah. So we've split it into several assets. So we have some funds into cryptos. We have some that we're trading personally. We're trading our own strategies, trading in the markets. And my main job, at least what I really, really focus on, is managing that fund and ensuring we are doing the right thing. That's my first task. The second thing that I primarily do in Financial Hub is share with people my strategy and how I trade markets. So our main agenda with Financial Hub for now is training people on how to understand the markets. And the three of us trade in a different style. So I share my style, Caleb shares his style, and Lawi does share his style. So I also focus on sharing my style and thinking about how we can grow the company and expand it into other things. So those are the main things that I'm currently doing. Those are the main tasks that I have besides content creation, which is what we are doing now.
Yeah, and Tara said he's a risk manager. Personally, I also do almost the same thing as Ken. So just looking at funds, we personally trade, so we have to be trading at all times. Teaching, that's another important thing. And as Ken said, producing content, because we have a YouTube channel, which we have been doing it since 2018. We'll talk about it as we talk about our story and how we started. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we do. And yeah, so we can get into the story of how we started, how Financial Hub came.
Before we go there, we've funded over 40 traders.
Yeah.
We
that's an important start.
$1,200 for
how much is that in Kenya shillings?
About 130,000.
Yeah,
with the dollar right now.
Yep.
So we funded over 40 traders. If you want to get
40.
funded, pardon?
130 times 40.
It's millions. Yeah. So for traders, I know one main challenge about trading is lack of capital. So at Financial Hub also we offer capital to traders. For 20,000 you get $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll tell your story in this podcast so that you can know how we came from not having any capital, blowing accounts, to be able to fund people,
manage $20,000. It's not easy.
Have an office in town, which we entered just before the corona came. So yeah, it's an interesting story. So we can begin. So how I personally got into Forex, which will just add up. So I'm just using the timeline of how we all got into it. So what happened, just a little backstory about me. You'll hear it a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of school system. I'm really against it because of 1, 2, 3 things. But anyway, back in Form 2, I tried to drop out. So I was in Lenana, changes. That's where I was. I tried to drop out in Form 2 because I was studying things that didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to go study film and TV. So that was my interesting thing. So I grew up watching TV and movies with my dad. So I was like, this thing is dope. Let me go and start doing this. So along the way, I tried dropping out in Form 2. To cut the long story short, I finished Form 4 2 years later. So that didn't last. It was unsuccessful, but
so
I knew
you failed at dropping out.
My first main failure, because I sat my parents down and told them I don't know, I'm studying Kiswahili and chemistry and biology, such stuff. My future is not in that line. I don't want to be a doctor and all those stuff. So I want to take me to New York, man. At that time, fees was looking at how much. It was crazy. Let me not get into that. But that's what I wanted to do. I failed. They didn't allow me. My mom almost chased me out of that house. But anyway, I finished Form 4 2 years later, just decided to focus. Tried my best, finished, sort of passed. So that passing...
You're not sure?
That's a story for another day. So if you're in school 2014, 2015, going backwards, unajua vile tunafanyanga. But anyway... so I tried my best. Those things that I wanted to drop out from, I really passed in them. So you can add 1 2 1 2 and you'll get what happened. So anyway, I got called to university, Technical University of Nairobi, TUK, and that's where I met Ken. So Ken, you can tell them how you met me. I've told them how I met you.
So yeah, like Caleb said, we all, I think, start in high school. So unlike him, in high school, I never knew what I wanted to do. All we were all exposed to was engineering, medicine, law, and what else do people want to do? Architect, pilot. Those are the things you only know. Like, you don't know there's anything else, especially in the Kenyan system. You don't know there's anything else that you can do. Mm-hmm. So like everyone else, choosing from the 5 or 6 things that are available to you, I decided to... It never made any sense to me to, okay, I'm not a very, very, very good person with people, so I'm not the person to be a doctor or something. So I decided to focus on doing machines, and like Caleb said, so that's engineering. Machines. So when I was in Form 2, Form 1, I knew like my whole life I'd deal with machines. That was the decision I'd made. So I was not struggling in school, so I was doing in school not very well, but I was not doing poorly. So I cleared school, got my good grades, and I was admitted to TUK, like Caleb said. And I was admitted to do mechanical
school were you in?
Engineering. So I was in a school in Meru called Nkobo. Not very, very popular. So when people ask us, which school were you in? Most of us say we were in Meru school because that's the only school that people
serious?
know. Yeah, that's
You've never told me this.
That people know.
It wasn't Meru school.
Place.
You weren't in Meru school?
Yeah, but it was a close to school.
No. Nkobo.
Anyone who knows that school will know, like, okay, it's like a brother school to that school. So we were almost the same school. So people will normally ask us and will tell us we were in that school. But anyway, so I cleared, got my good grades, came to the school called TUK. I was admitted to do mechanical engineering. And that was very, very different from what I expected. When you look at engineers in movies, you expect to be probably focused on coding and understanding how things work. But I remember I was sent to a workshop to design a bottle opener. I think that was when I decided to drop out. I remember when we were doing it with Caleb. I told Caleb, it doesn't make sense why we are creating a bottle opener. So that time I decided I'm not going to focus on this. I was certain that I was not willing to pursue that for long. So I decided to switch up and I decided to drop out and move to KU to do something else.
After how long did you drop out?
After a semester. So I never took long to figure out that this was not the thing that I was supposed to do. So after a semester, I decided, that's it. That's over. I'm going to drop out. And I left. And
so you left before me, yeah?
Yeah, I left before Caleb. Caleb decided to follow me.
Because there was a story behind it.
I thought you guys dropped out because of strike. Yeah,
we got suspended. So it was, when we finished semester 1, I was studying. Look, I dropped biology in Form 2, and I was studying biology and mechanical engineering. Like, that doesn't add up. So when we were there, I was with Ken, and first semester we knew this is not what we wanted. Second semester we just came. Then Ken used to tell me all the time, I'm leaving this school, and I was really close with Ken, so we had become really good friends. So when you're saying he was going, I was also like, okay, what am I staying to do? Because I don't like what I'm doing, and I'd already knew what I wanted to do. So Ken dropped out first when we got suspended, so he didn't come back. I think a few days later, I also dropped out. So I dropped out. What I went to do. So the first time when I tried dropping out, why I was successful the second time is because I learned from my failure, my first failure.
And you should tell us how you managed to do it the second time, because I feel like there were some lessons which you gathered from the first time, which were implemented in the second time.
The first time when I tried to drop out, it was my mom. So my mom was the problem. My dad, I remember, I learned that lesson. My dad was cool. So my dad was easy with me dropping out. Okay, not really dropping out, but doing what I want to do, like do what you love. Because when I finished school and high school, my mom was like, you passed, so you can go do engineering, then later on you can do film, then mix the two, you can create film stuff and shoot the movies. I was like, easy. So I fell for that. So now this time, before I dropped out, I took some time after Ken, my mom was traveling to Thailand. She was going for a meeting, so I knew I can't approach my mom. This time, if I do that, she's going to spoil for me again. So that was a lesson I learned. I wasn't going to approach my mom. My mom was the problem. So when she went, now I was left with my dad. So I was wondering, how will I do this? So days kept passing. She had gone for like 5 days. So first day I didn't approach him. Second day I didn't approach him. Third day I knew my time is running out. So on the fourth day, I went and told him, yo, Dad. I just sat him down, told him, look, I don't want to do engineering. Mind you, that time it's Sem 2, we've just started. He's paid fees. And I'm telling him I want to stop. It's non-refundable. So anyway, my dad was quite easy. He took it nicely. My dad also chased his own dreams, I think. And he told me, you do your thing. So I was like, nice. You're sure, Dad? He's like, you go do your thing. You know where you want to go? I knew where I want to go. I wanted to go to ADMI. So if you know ADMI, that's Africa Digital Media Institute. A very good school I can recommend. They're in town, Caxton House. So I dropped out, went straight to them that day, and I got registered in. When my mom came back 2 days later, she found me already dropped out. I think she couldn't say anything. My dad even didn't tell her immediately. It took time. So that's how I left, and that's how I went to ADMI. So that's how I dropped out on engineering, went to ADMI. So during that time, Ken will tell you how now he met Taras. So Ken is our Jesus.
So I'm like the one who's collecting disciples. So the whole team, the Financial Hub team, I have brought people from different areas.
Exactly.
Or rather, I've created friends from different places. Then we were all in the same mission and decided to just come together and focus on doing what we were doing, because working individually was not also something that was so appealing. So I was like Jesus, and now I met Lawi back in KU. So he'll tell you the story now how we met in KU.
Yeah, so Taras will
what went on after that.
Yeah, so now Taras will tell you how he met Pops.
Okay, I'll also give a brief background. So I finished high school in 2015. I was in Triple S, Sunshine. Got a good grade.
Rich kid.
No. Bursary. Yeah, so I got a good grade. Went to KU for civil
Taras
engineering.
alipata A clean 84. Unajua wale watu 84 wale wa med walikosa tu moja afanye med. Unajua.
So I got into engineering. It's what I wanted to do actually, because in high school I was good in physics, and that was a very, very wrong idea to have. Just because you're good in physics, you think engineering will be the thing for you. So I went to KU. I met Ken. We were classmates. He was doing electrical, but for the first year, you all combined for classes. So I met Ken. He was also my neighbor. We used to stay in the same apartment back in
Kochini. Mandani.
So we met there. So Ken was my good friend in school and also back at home. We'd have fun, weekends, going out. Yeah. So within that time, I was actually doing binary options before I even joined campus. Yeah. So I think I was very, very lucky to learn such. I don't think I was even 18 years old at that time. So I was doing binary options, but I didn't know what it really was. So I remember I put 1,000 shillings, made about 200 shillings.
Ulianza kutrade na tao.
So actually a friend to my sister introduced me. So, and that friend also told me not to do this thing. So, but it
Now
was
you
like,
understand why.
it was like, hey, why you not like why you are you guys are rich and you're telling me not to try and be rich also? But I just continued. I remember I didn't even make money from that $1,000. 1,000 shillings. No, I withdrew it. Nilifikisha ka 1,200. I made like that's a 20% profit, bro.
That's a lot, man.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, I got that 200, withdrew. Because I remember we were going out, so I needed money.
So, to party.
Yeah, so
Alifunga biza kapati.
yeah, so and from that point I didn't focus again on Forex. So when I was in KU, we met a friend also, a friend of ours who also now introduced us into the real Forex thing, me and Ken.
Yeah.
So he was called Malims, very good friend.
Yeah, Malim's a good friend of ours.
Yeah. So Malims now was doing that shit seriously, bro.
But he was deep in it, man.
That guy was
Deep,
learning
bro.
from school the whole night. Chambua to Forex.
Hiyo huko first year huko uelewi mambo.
And that guy was a third
Was
year.
with you?
I could see that MetaTrader screen. It was complicated.
Shenanigans.
So we actually I didn't even have a laptop. Ken didn't have a laptop.
Yeah, we were still green. Tulikuwa tuna vitabu.
So I remember Malims now tried and to show us that now this is Forex.
Something we can do.
So I remember he had notes. He shared some notes with us. We also got a book from KU, which we've never returned them.
Mimi nilirudisha yangu chief.
Mi yangu sikurudisha. So that book was very, very helpful for us.
A book for Forex.
Yeah, a book for Forex. It was in the library, and most people don't know such things. So just
No one
because-
goes to the library.
Yeah, and
If
no
you
one actually
in
goes
KU,
to the library.
And
Yeah.
it's only when you clear that you understand the value of that
Yeah,
library now. Or when
library-
you're
KU
out.
has a nice library. I've never been to KU.
It's a
Yeah,
big
good library.
library.
Nice place.
Well equipped. Yeah, there's nothing you can't learn in that library. But unfortunately, we don't learn anything.
It was only for exam periods.
Yeah, it's true. Like no one goes to the library to learn
True.
anything. So
So when we got that book, we got really interested. Like we'd write notes.
What was the name of the book? Do you remember?
mastering the currency.
Mastering the currency market. Yeah, mastering the currency market. So I think it was just that we thought we'd make money fast, so we got that drive to learn. But now we didn't even have money. I remember I had like 10,000. Ken had 10,000. Then money
10,000 also.
10,000. So
So that's 30,000.
after about a month or two of learning, we decided to go live. So
After reading that book, not a month or two, just after clearing that book, we thought we knew everything we needed to know to like
but then
start
remember
trading.
we also used baby pips.
No, we used baby pips after
After
losing money. We never used it before.
Talk about the losing money.
So yeah, remember
After
we
losing
And
money.
wait, at that time, had I met you, Tara?
No,
I had
When you
met
guys-
you once. No,
no.
Because
when you had that money.
When we were trading, that's when you guys met.
when you started trading,
Yeah, when I started trading.
making money.
Yeah, you met me while I was trading live.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll introduce that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Came
So
back.
Yeah, because this time now,
Met me.
Paps and
So we were doing
So
as
Ken-
three of us.
and
so
Taras
me-
are the ones who are
yeah,
doing it, and Malims.
Yeah. Muslims was actually the one who was making most of the decisions.
the
Sisi
trade.
tulikuwa tu
Yeah,
capital providers
we had
hapo.
a laptop. We didn't
Yeah,
have a
so we
laptop.
didn't
so
even know.
Yeah,
We just decided,
we'd
okay,
meet
you buy
in
this.
Yeah, we'd meet in his house.
Yeah.
Decide these are the trades we'll have next week.
So this time you guys are still in school.
Yeah.
Still
Still
KU.
in
Yeah.
Mm.
But at that moment, we were not really in school because there was a big strike, a lecturer strike. So that was actually what pulled us into like starting this thing because we had a lot of free time, so no going to class, nothing. So just like let's trade because we have a lot of free time. Let's try out this thing. So we were trading, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember we had that $300. We didn't even have a system, nothing. It was just, I remember we were trading gaps.
Gaps always close.
If a market gaps, it will always close. So we made some money with those gap
We
closes.
made a lot of money, not some money, a lot.
yeah.
Because starting with $300 to about $1,000 or
I
something.
remember it was about $1,000 and $100. Yeah. So that was a lot of money for us. Hey, I remember telling Ken, Dubai.
Next week.
Sooner than soon.
Next week tukifikisha mita.
Dubai. Sezo mko.
Hey.
Like 100 G's.
Yeah, 100 G's. It was about
1,200, I think.
Yeah, 1,200.
In what? In like a week?
Yeah, in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks or something, yeah.
Because now, I think now, before we go further, during this time is when now I called Ken. Because personally, like you've heard, Ken and Taras got introduced when they were in KU. Personally, my cousin came over, and shout out to my cousin. She's called Lisa Fatuma. So shout out to her from the UK. So she's my cousin. She came to visit, and that was in 2016, and she was doing Forex. So I was chilling in my room one day. So just as Ken was saying, what Taras was saying, when they looked at the charts, everything was confusing. They couldn't understand. So same thing with my cousin. When she came, I was like, what's this you're doing? She's like, she's trading. So I didn't know that at all. But anyway, she said she'll show me. So I think she took a trade. I was in my room. She said she'll call me later and show me how it progressed. So she took a trade, and I think 20 minutes later, she called me and she showed me how she had made 800 pounds. I was like, what? 800 pounds? 800 pounds in 20 minutes. I was like, Allah. So I asked her, how did you learn this? So she said she taught herself. Like her friends taught her, and she also taught herself. So I was like, can I learn as well? Then she was like, yeah, of course, why not? I was like, definitely, this is what I'm going to do. So that time I'm still in ADMI. So
does she still trade? It's a long story.
Does Malim still trade?
That tells you a lot about the game.
But anyway, so she after she showed me that, later on she was traveling back, so I wasn't staying with her, so she couldn't teach me directly. But she showed me a few things. She showed me some guys on Instagram called Astro Forex.
Okay.
Amanat and Sean Lee. So she also introduced me to them. Then she went. So I was just doing my own research. So at first I wasn't taking it seriously. Then one day I was chilling with a friend of mine, my ex, still a friend of mine. So I was talking to her one day. We're just chilling, and she's like, I shout out to her because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. Anyway, so well, I give credit where it's due. So she was chilling with her. So I was not doing Forex seriously. So one day I was chilling with her and telling her, hey, my cousin introduced me to this thing and she made 800 pounds in 20 minutes. She's like, what? And are you thinking of doing it? No, like, yeah. I wasn't really serious. Then like, Caleb, you need to do this. Two things they do. We make money. You know, when you're young, couple goals, you want to take your shorty out. That time you're broke. Anyway, so she when she told me that was like 2 months later after my cousin introduced me. I was like, okay, let me take this thing seriously. So that was in like November. So I started reading. Then now in January, I was like, I called Ken. I was just catching up with Ken. Now this is 2017. So I called Ken, and Ken was like, so it was a coincidence because I told him it was after New Year's. I was like, yo, there's this new thing I learned. I think you'll be excited to hear. Then he's like, oh, you also may have something new I want to tell you about. I think you'll be excited. Then I was like, okay, so you tell me. Then he's like, nah, you go first. I was like, no, you go first. Then he's like, nah, you go first.
Circles.
So I was like, okay. Then I was like, yo, my cousin introduced me to this thing. We can make money. It's called Forex. And I was like, that's the same thing I was going to tell you. I was like, serious? So I was like, okay, we need to meet up. These things we can't talk. So we talked a bit over the phone, but we were like, let's meet up and catch up and see what we're doing. So that's now how I went to. That's the time I came, yeah? That's the time I came to Wendani. Now
so Caleb was more interested because you were actually doing it live, and he was scared to put in real money. So if you know Caleb, he's too conservative. Okay, he takes risk, but he takes calculated. And like us, you na kichwa kwanza.
I'm a gambler. Ken hasn't told you a story of gambling. This guy minted Naivasha every weekend.
You'll make some real money in it. But anyway, I feel like this was some valuable lessons.
So that's
in campus, like when we went to
yeah.
So SportPesa was just starting. Like si tulikuwa wale ukona book ya kuandika bets zenye utachukua hii weekend, and then you filter out. Na umefanya hadi research. Like I knew, like in Australia, you never gamble on a single team winning. You gamble on over 2.5, meaning like we'll get 3 goals in that game.
Australia.
Yeah, because in Australia, sijui ka keeper washikangi huko magaji. Like the games end 3-2, 5-1. Like there are a lot of goals in that space. But anyway, I was gambling in SportPesa, and I was making good money in it. So Like I remember there was a time I took a bet with about 10,000. I made about 100,000. So I was
10x.
I was taking big bets. I was not gambling with like 100.
And if you were to
bob
lose,
or
you had to lose
200.
all of it.
Yeah. And I was losing also because at times like I'd lose like 13,000 or something. So I was doing it heavily, and I feel like that aspect of my personality is also.
What's the biggest win you had?
Well, I think that 100,000,
100
and
Gs.
the 100,000 was followed by a 40,000 in the same week. So it was quite a big win in 1 week. I think, but the 100,000 bet was a bet split within 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Champions League games, I remember. So I took like 3 or 4 games over a period of, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Made
With one Europa, then I made like 94,000. Then during the weekend, I made like
I think I remember the 94.
Yeah.
Because you
So-
told me about,
Yeah. So I was doing it heavily. and
And
losing and making money.
That's the same time you came to know that I was conservative, yeah?
Yeah.
That's when I came. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, Ken, you're making money.
So Caleb comes with 800 and then he loses it.
Now
and
that
then
it was
he's
a
like,
G.
I'll never come
It
back
was
to this.
No,
But anyway, so that's besides our trading experiences or something.
yeah, so that's how we knew each other. That's how I met Taras when I went to Wendani. And I think that's when now everything started.
Yeah, so...
I remember that day, Caleb.
You remember?
Hey,
Caleb
you guys
came in
were
and
good
asked
at
guys we were
analysis.
green. He was like teaching us things he's seen on YouTube. And those things now don't even work.
Some work. Look left structure leads clue. That's what I was teaching you guys.
Caleb had perfect until you're wondering why are you not live, you guys? You're so good at this already, so you should be live. But anyway, when you now start trading, I think now we should like go into the deep stuff, like when you started trading, like the real money. So like Lawi said, our first account, I feel like we should all mention our first accounts.
And you should mention, you guys were sharing one account.
Yeah, we were sharing.
Everyone
one
had
account.
login, so everyone is trading.
Everyone is okay. Not everyone was making decisions because solely I can't remember. Like for me, I
Oh,
never
serious?
made any decision. Yeah.
Those Malims.
Okay, some decisions. If we were all together, we decide let's do this.
Decide.
But if
How are
let's
you
say-
guys coming to that conclusion?
We just look
Malims
at
was the
charts.
pro one.
Yeah, you
She's
look
like,
at
I want
charts.
to buy this.
If
You guys
Malim
are
says
cool.
this thing is going up, but there's no arguing.
Need
You
my
just have to
investor.
wait. So anyway, so the first account we had was 300. We ran it all the way to about $1,200, and I think that was the time personally I decided like there was something more into this thing because I remember there was a day we made about 20 Gs in a single day. So I remember it was an oil trade. Yeah. And we took the oil trade on a Monday morning. And before 2, we had 20,000 shillings in our bank account. So it
Oh, my
was
friends are
so
ballers.
hard for anyone to convince me to sit in a classroom again. Because, again, you're making 20,000 and you're now just in a class. And all these things you're being told don't make any sense. Your head can only think about what you are doing. So that was the time I think we decided to now focus on trading seriously. But it was before the worst had happened. So what happened was the $1,200 because we didn't understand what we were doing. So we lost the whole lot of cash. So we had about 1,200. We took like 3 or 4 bad trades. We decided not to close the trades. So they were running against us and we decided instead of liquidating these positions, we'll keep them. And you know, when that happens, you lose your whole account. So from $1,200, I think we had like $50 or $60 remaining. And we couldn't do anything with that. We decided to gamble.
How much remaining?
About $50 or $60 remaining.
Mm.
After closing 4 or 5 trades, and now we were back to zero. So when you're back to zero, you now have to decide. There's something here. Should I go on or should I just quit? And that also coincided with some other things that were going on. And I decided for me to just focus on going deep into trading. Now that's when I went back into baby pips, like you said.
Oh.
So that was when we started now going back to baby pips. Started scratch. I did graduate by the graduate baby pips. Kauja graduate baby pips haujasoma hiyo kitu. So tulisoma online until you graduated. So you got your, was there a certificate? I don't think really. There was nothing, but you had like a whole course there and we did it. Like I remember I'd write notes like on a day-to-day basis. And that was very, very helpful for forming the foundation for trading markets. So that was when the foundation was established, and that's when we decided now that trading was the thing we were going to do full time. So even when people went back to school, we decided, or I personally decided, to write a call-off letter. And I thought like for 3-6 months, study trading, perfect it, then I'd go back to
Call off
engineering.
later for dropping out.
Okay, not really dropping out. At first you set it aside. Hawezi ambia tu mzazi nimeacha hii kitu kabisa. Acha niweke kando kwanza ndarudi kidogo. So I decided to like stay out for about 3 to 6 months, and the deeper I went into trading, unfortunately the more my degree suffered. So that's why I decided to call it quits and focus on trading full time. So that's a brief history of how I started.
Can you remember that professor who told me I won't finish school?
I think you should mention that story.
Yeah, man. So
What was he teaching?
I think
Comps.
yeah,
Comps.
computer.
Yeah,
So
I hate professors, not in a bad way, but those guys are very
so
negative.
I remember I was with my girlfriend in my class, and my girlfriend was from JKUAT.
Yeah, my girlfriend's all to Saidia.
So it was just madness, man. We were young and dumb. So me, I exited the class with my girlfriend. So I think the lecturer saw it as being rude or something, and he told me to sit, but
You
I
guys
didn't
just
sit.
walked out.
Yeah,
You can do that in KU.
sindio?
Yeah,
You
in
just
campus
get out
you
of
just
class.
walk out, man.
Yeah,
Kwa-
so-
kwa shule gani hiyo bro?
Yeah,
huwezi toka.
10 students, how?
Even if it's 2, you can
Just stand up and go.
yeah.
Like,
And you carry your
you're
bag.
holding hands with your girlfriend, you're going.
We
Hey, you guys go and don't come back. Hey, then the
Yeah, so
professor
the
said,
professor was like, kijana, hebu kaa chini.
such people don't clear school.
Such people. We've seen a lot like you. Yeah, and unfortunately he was right. I didn't mind.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
But she was right. Fortunately, unfortunately for who?
For him.
And for you.
For him, it's unfortunate. Like the
For
lecturer
others.
was right. Yeah.
But fortunately for the
For the lecturer, yeah, it's
Yeah,
fortunate.
it's fortunate.
Nah, so
Yeah, we decided to just focus on trading. I remember that time school had a lot of stress, strikes. It was just not like we didn't have that drive for school. So, and we had seen that we can make money in trading. So there was no way again we're going to stop it. So we got the drive to do research, like heavily
because
research.
if you had the same drive in engineering, I'd trust me you hizi ma projects za engineering zingekuwa zetu sahi. So we never had the same drive like Lavi said. So
Yeah,
just go
plus-
where your energy is.
You're 20 years, Mona, you've made her like $1,000. Hey, trust me, you just think about how you'll go back into it and at least learn from the mistakes you did. Because I think the more you research on Forex, is the more you realize this shit is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's being done by big banks,
Yeah.
hedge funds. So for us, we had not gotten that realization that this shit is deep. You need to take years of experience to learn it. So, so that's that way we continued learning. I remember I funded my other account. When was it? Around 2018. Yeah, I had also about $150. So about $150, I traded that to about $800. Around $800. Fortunately, I lost it again. So like the game was just not clicking in, and because we were not doing some few things right. So yeah, I lost that money too.
But
Still
see,
got
there was
the-
a period you were given some cash with Ken or something when you guys had money, like the two of you, yeah?
Yeah.
you
So
were trading, and you also lost that. Yeah,
mm.
you even never gave Ken the report.
We gave him the report. We gave him the report, but
how much was that?
Okay,
around 30,000.
yeah.
It was not a lot of money. So we lost that. And I remember Ken telling us, "Hii tunawapea," because I know they are
Tembea na hiyo.
high chance you guys are still not good at it, because I think he has a friend in the UK who also trades.
Okay.
And, yeah, so he told us, hey, it's not easy. So yeah, you go and try. If you make it, it's okay. If you don't make it, it's okay. So unfortunately, we lost it. Back to square one. Drawing board, research. It was just it's been a long journey.
And then if you think about it, what were some of the like, what are some of the platforms or is level or some of the people you followed, books or things that you really used to like understand markets? What are some of the places you visited, like for you to grasp 1+2 + 1+1?
Oh,
like
so majorly YouTube. YouTube was the place we learned a lot from Astro Forex, I think.
yeah, Astro was helpful.
So Astro was helpful. we also had their book. Remember, we had their ebook, so it really helped us to at least it simplified everything.
Yeah.
So at least they had like a strategy,
Structure.
a structure. So at least market analysis was now becoming better.
Easier.
So even though you're not still making money, at least your analysis is becoming better. You're now understanding some ground rules on trading. So another thing I read was I think a lot of books. So we had a lot of ebooks. You remember?
Yeah.
We pirated about 1,000 trading books. So we were reading a lot on trading. So basically just that research was what put me here.
Caleb, your first account?
I think my first account came when I saw you guys trading. I didn't want to risk. I didn't go asking for money myself. I think I had some savings here and there. Like Ken said, I was a bit conservative, so I wasn't a risk taker. So I didn't have that nerve of taking people's money at first. So I started with a small account. I think it was around $80, $100. And then you see the brokers at that time when we started trading, the brokers in Kenya, there were no brokers in Kenya. The Forex market wasn't yet regulated. So we had to outsource or look for offshore brokers. So we had one from, was it Malaysia? Hot Forex.
As you were using Hot Forex, you used XM, I think, for your first
No.
Yeah, you used XM.
No.
Your first account, you used XM.
Oh, you have a good memory. Yes, I think I used XM and they had 100% bonus.
Yeah.
So when I gave my 100, I got 200 back in my account. That was the worst mistake to ever make. But that's what I traded. Tried trading it. I wasn't really growing. It wasn't really growing. I didn't even withdraw anything. It reached a point, I think I was losing money. I wanted to withdraw my money. And then, there's normally a catch on the bonus, yeah? The bonus money, you can't easily withdraw it. Or it's just complicated. It wasn't a good decision. So I didn't really do much with that account. And I think later on, a few years later, because I couldn't withdraw the money, Ken just found it.
But I think you're missing something. Like I really want you to focus on. There was one particular trade that resulted into you losing everything after you'd made some money.
Okay.
So there's one particular trade that you'll never forget in your life. You should really focus on it.
Okay, so there's this Euro USD trade.
You've never forgotten.
Hey, you can't forget such.
Were we staying together that time? Not yet, yeah?
Not yet, but I was
in ADMI. So when I was in ADMI, I was still going to school, yeah? That's 2017. That's around, I don't know what time it was in ADMI. I mean, in 2017, I think mid-year, around June, July or something. So I used, Ken that time wasn't in, that time you had dropped out, yeah?
Yeah, I was out already.
So Ken wasn't in school. So I used to go to school, but I used to tell Ken to monitor my trades. So there's a time now I took that nice trade. Was it a buy at first?
No, you made a buy, yeah.
It was a buy.
Yeah.
Took many positions in it. I made quite. I don't remember how much I made.
I think you made about $100 or something.
Yeah, it was going quite well. So I was about to double my account. So it was going well, and we made profit. Took it out, and then I think now the next week opened. Yeah.
No, you're missing something.
What am I missing?
You took the trades.
Yeah.
You held the trades over the weekend. So when the market opened, it gapped many points and you made some money on that gap.
Oh, yeah.
Then you bet on the gap closing and you lost it.
Yeah. I think there was some news that was coming out. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah.
But there was some major news which really affected the dollar to weaken. So over the weekend, when it just opened on Monday, markets opened, my account was high. And I took all my profits and I told Ken, this gap is going to close. So immediately I took short positions. So I was shorting, I was selling the market. That's what we mean when we're shorting. So selling the market and in anticipation of this gap to close. But nothing like that happened. So all the money then, all the profits entered into loss. And that time, you're still quite young at this, so you're not accepting the loss. It happens a lot in investing. You're just like, it'll turn, it'll go back to profits. And that's what happens. Went down. I think that's when I gave up on that account. Am I right?
Lost everything. You lost the whole account.
Everything. He called me actually. Now I think I'll just throw in the towel. I'm going to close these positions at this point because the markets are really moving fast and they are moving against you. So,
and I think we've taken big positions for the account we had.
Yeah, very, very big actually. Very, very big positions. So it never took a lot of points for you to lose everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Yeah, that's the first account. And the problem about now losing an account, you stay long without having another account. Like looking for funds. That time you're still young. Mind you, your parents don't want to fund you. They're like, what's this you're doing? You're spending your time on the laptop. No one is going to fund such a thing. Okay? That time Forex is unregulated. There's no one in Kenya you can tell your parents that this guy is doing it professionally.
He's successful at it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what happened. Lost the account, stayed some time now. Now that time is when now we knew with Ken. Now we have to do a lot of research. And just like Tara said, research is what now got us deep into this thing. You realize you can make money, but you need to gain that skill to properly make it and keep it as well. Making it is easy, keeping it is the problem. So yeah, that's what happened to my first.
Yep. So I think we should now tackle some of the things that we like made mistakes. So I remember the first mistake we made, Lawi. Remember us paying $50 to someone in the UK to give us signals. So
it was in South Africa.
No, it was someone in the UK. So we thought now we found someone.
US or UK? I think US.
US or UK, one of the two countries. But anyway, we thought we found someone who we could. Was it PayPal or something?
I think it was Malim's card.
Because that time
it was. I
M-Pesa wasn't.
It was we swiped the card or something. So we paid $50, joined a group. We received 2 or 3 signals. They all went south.
Even the company closed down in less than a month.
And I feel like after that, now we decided that was the last time we bought signals, right?
Yeah, just one.
So that's our first. That's the first thing that I think we'd tackle, because we've seen a lot of people like even reach out to us expecting us to give them signals, and they think they'll make money out of that. So I think for me, I've learned like over the years, if you're not willing to trade for yourself, then be willing to give your money to someone who's trading. And if you're not willing to do those two things, then stay out of the market. Just focus on doing other things, because you won't make a dime in this market if you're using any other method. Either you give your money to someone who's good at it, and I never said anyone, someone who's good at it, or you decide to learn this thing and do it yourself. And if none of those approaches appeal to you, then forget about the Forex market, forget about you can make money in it, and stay away from it, like shun it, because in trading there are two things that can happen. I feel like you can either make money or you'll be losing. You can't be in the middle. Like if you can either get to the other side where you make infinite amounts of cash, or you're always losing and you will never ever get to that point where. So I don't feel like there's a middle ground for trading. Like you really have to get on both sides of the game for you to really succeed at it. But that's my experience with signals. So Caleb, have you ever bought signals?
No.
How comes?
I'm not a risk taker. The things before I do things, I normally want to, not that I fully understand, but I want to understand it quite a bit. Signals didn't add up to me.
Okay.
So just like let me not do that. So I've never ever
bought
taken signals from anyone. Okay. Yeah.
So what particular advice would you have for someone who like wants to pursue signals as an avenue? Because there are people who have approached you for signals, right?
Yeah. Guys come because now at the moment they see us trading well. They say they just want to copy paste what we're doing, and I don't think that there are different types of signals. So the signals Ken and Tara's had, I believe it was one you just told buy here, sell here, take profit here.
No analysis, nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
So if you're showing someone where to trade, at least show them how you're doing what you're doing. So that wasn't in the market at that time. There's no one showing you, okay, take here, sell here. So my advice will be, if you don't understand what you're doing and you're trying to make money off that, I don't see any profit in that. Short term you might make, long term there's a lot of loss. Actually, I was seeing some guy on Instagram the other day, I won't mention the name, but he was saying there's this make money with us in minutes. I hate seeing such stuff here in Kenya, not abroad. Like join us at night, we make money in minutes, this is easy, you just copy paste. I hate seeing such stuff, because such people are destroying this market. They make it look easy to come in, but in actual sense this thing is very, very hard and it takes time to learn. If it was that easy, many people would be doing it, and as Taras was saying, we would have gone to Dubai a long time ago. Mind you, till today Bado
We've not gone, man.
how many years?
Lawi, I think we should actually, Caleb, like you mentioned, I also hate it where like that was, I think, one of the things that really forced us to start Financial Hub. Because I remember like Lawi has told me a couple of times how he hates how trading is like presented out there, like what people normally see in social media or on social media versus what it really takes to trade. And I'm telling you out of experience, like I've been trading now for quite some time. I make decisions in the market. Even currently we have trades running, and what is depicted in social media versus what really happens, I think the divergence there is something that needs some attention.
Yeah, true. Like a whole revolution of how social media puts trading.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one, very few people post their losses.
No one
very
actually
few people
does.
say when they blow accounts.
No one does.
I'm sure the people who are listening will relate. Who was inspiring you guys that you're seeing online that were trading? You remember? That guy wasn't trading.
I've seen a
Remember?
couple of people, man. Like
we
there was this
can
guy.
just name them. Like
There's this guy actually you showed me. There's like in Ankelele,
Refoing.
African guys,
Because South Africa, they have
Refoing.
perfected the art of show off. Like
They even called
perfected it.
Huda Monroe for
Kobo. Cash flow.
Exactly. For sure. So
like it's being advertised so badly, and I think that's, as Ken said, that's why we decided to start Financial Hub, at least to shine the light.
Because people are doing it. Because you'll never find us on our social media doing that. Like, yo, we made this money easy. Come join us. Come copy what we do.
I've actually never told anyone that.
Exactly.
Come join us and do this. I've never told anyone that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you really need to have your own will and do your own research, and then now you can come and reach out to us for us to like help you. Because before that,
you were saying that's what led to, because we can say that, talk about that, how Financial Hub now came. Because we're looking at stuff online, people are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, so that's another story. I feel like first of all, there's a lot. First of all, there are very, very many people, and we are actually lucky not to have fallen prey to that. So there are very many people who just look at baby pips and you assume you've learned how to trade. Or you read 1 or 2 books and you assume you've learned how to trade. Or you have 1 or 2 winning months and you assume you've learned how to trade. All these things are wrong. Very, very, very wrong. So for us, it was the same thing. Like you'd make some money and you think now you've mastered the art of trading. But now when it comes to like doing it really, like now you're the one who's supposed to make decisions
and staying in the game long term.
And staying in the game long term, that's when you realize that okay, there's still a lot that I need to learn. So Financial Hub came about as a result of people reaching out to us. So when you dropped out of school, like if you're in campus, I'm sure you understand that 90%, okay, not 90, let's say 80% of the time you have free time on your hands. I don't know about medicine, but at least I've been in an engineering class and I've been in other classes at least for 2 or 3 semesters. So if I combine the whole time that I was in campus, I can say that you have a lot of free time, especially in the early years of starting out school. So when you dropped out now and you have like all this free time that you had now is invested in learning how to do something, then you realize there's a very, very big difference between using your time well and just having spent time without really understanding what you're doing or how you're spending your time. So like for us, when we dropped out, people noticed that we were very, very serious about what we were doing and things were picking up. And some people reached out to us that, hey, you should probably start a blog about what you're doing. It's quite interesting. I feel like people will love to know what you're doing. You can probably start a YouTube channel about what you're doing. You can probably start this or that. But for us, we decided to do it in a professional way. So I remember the time when we started with Caleb and we said, okay, if you're going to pursue this, let's not do it in a shoddy way. Let's do it in a very, very professional way, the best way possible that we can be able to do it. And that's when we decided to start with a website. I think we started with a website.
Yeah, first we started looking for a name.
Yeah, we started, and that was a process.
It wasn't easy to get Financial Hub.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
We had different names. We had Prime Case.
We had
Intercapital.
We had Intercapital. we had a couple of names which were actually rejected by eCitizen. Yeah, so finally we landed on Financial Hub.
Yeah, it just came. It just came one day. At least it was in. If you think of the name Financial Hub, it's a very strong name, which is good we landed upon it, because you see, part of the goal is to become the hub of finances, financial services. So getting that name Financial Hub, us being a hub not only in Kenya but in Africa and later on the rest of the world was a very powerful name, and many people can relate to it. Financial Hub. So we got to register it. So we got Financial Hub Limited, Qantas Financial Hub, because we'll talk about that later on. But Qantas also has a meaning. Quants. If you're familiar with that, it's what?
Quantitative.
Yeah, quantitative.
Yeah, we'll talk about it some other time. But there's a reason why we kept Qantas. So we got to register that, and then now we're like, okay, if you want to start this, the first thing we have to do. So you remember, actually, we had Ken and Carl Investments.
Yeah.
So those Ken and Carl Investments. Then those Financial Hub was now to be the subsidiary. So the thing we're doing, I don't know why, I used to tell Ken, we're sort of giving birth to the child before the mother comes in. And Ken and Carl is a big thing. That's investments. But now Financial Hub, we're like, okay, we'll use Financial Hub to train and spread awareness and basically introduce people to financial services, especially in Forex. So that's how we got that one. That's how we started. And we started off with, you're saying what? The website, yeah?
Yeah, we started off with, okay, we were trying to start off with an office with a very, very nice place. And we decided to meet one or two rich people that we knew and ask for money.
Exactly, yeah.
And we really got disappointed. So if you're really planning on starting out...
What did one tell us? We buy a coffee machine.
Yeah, we need a coffee machine. We need to rent out a very good place. Like, we need to make a proper budget of about $1 million or something. And when you start out, you definitely don't even know where you'll get the $1 million shillings. So we approached one or two people to like try and help us, the people who we thought would help us. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying out something, I think that was one of the first lessons that I learned, that just plan on your own budget. Like, don't rely on other people. Start with the little that you have, because there's a high chance the people you are relying on won't help you at all. Like, okay, there are people who won't help you. Okay, yeah, exactly. That's the point. They won't help you not because they hate you or they don't think it will work. It's because they don't understand what you're doing. There's a high chance they don't, and they're not willing to commit money to something they don't understand. So that was one of the reasons why we missed money, and we decided instead of looking for cash now, we can start with a website. I think a website can attract people.
It was basically, I remember the goal was, let's spread awareness, what to do. People know us, then now we can bring the company. Yeah. So we started looking for a budget for the website. So I remember my mom referred us to someone. You remember, Ken?
Yeah.
And that person was charging, I think, about 30,000, 25, 30 there. They said it was negotiable. You remember?
Yeah.
And we saw an example of what they've done with that. So they sent us the portfolios. We're like, what? This thing is shit. We can't do such a thing for that price. So we're like, so we started. Ken got another site. It was for food.
Kalimoni Greens. I actually never got it. I think it's Akinalawi who got it. So they actually told me.
Yeah, then you told me.
Site. So we found the one who created that site. Yeah.
Yeah. So the people who created it was nice. It's in Kenya. So we're like, this is what we're looking for. So we called them, talk to them. Then they're like, easy, because we met over lunch in Java. Yeah.
No.
We didn't meet them because we explained to them what we wanted.
We went to their offices. We never met them in Java. We went to their offices for the first time.
In Lavington.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then they explained to us now what we explained to them. What we wanted, and they're like, "Cool." They send us a quotation. A few days later, we go, bam, email quotation. How much?
80,000.
80 G's.
It's a lot of cash. Now by then it was a lot of cash.
It was a lot because, mind you, we were looking for capital to trade.
Yeah.
So now we're like, Allah, now we're taken aback. Mind you, our parents are not supporting us. We'll talk about that dropping out because I later came and dropped out of ADMI. It wasn't an easy fit. I'll talk about it later. But now now they're not supporting us. No one wants us to give us money. We have to. I don't even remember how we got that money. But anyway, we're like, you know what? I went and told my mom, actually, there's this guy, the guys, they're charging us 80 G's. She's like, you guys are small, start small. Don't even think of using those people. Caleb, I'll call this other person. I'll give you their number. Talk to them. We later talked with Ken. We're like, no, let's just go for the 80 G's. So like, easy, we'll do that. So we always want to be authentic and put like first class stuff. Yeah. If you're talking about finances, you can't talk about finance and money and you have a shoddy, you don't look like money, okay? So remember, we're not doing what the South Africans are doing. We're just doing things in a professional way. So it took us some time. So we
Yeah,
told this
it was
website guys, you remember we told them, you guys start.
Yeah.
That time we have zero cash.
Zero, Bob. So
And
we'll just
then
be paying.
before
But
we started,
actually-
they told us we'd look for a logo.
Yeah.
Then they sent us to another logo guy. So, because we need a logo for the website. So they're like, you guys go look for a logo. We'll send you this guy's number. Actually, we called some other guy.
So
Some
we
other-
created a logo for about 1,000, Bob. This guy,
This guy charged us 1,000 bob. Ah la 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 guy. Shitty work.
it was very, very, very.
That's the last time I think we decided we'll never use cheap guys.
Yeah, so cheap is expensive.
Yeah, cheap is-
I feel like
that thing
one
was
so
shoddy.
It was so shoddy.
Wow, it was just some word that guy played around with. Microsoft Word, just play. You get like a template or whatever.
I wish we had it.
I wish you had it.
I'm sure we have it somewhere. I'll look for it.
Really?
I believe we do. So we called the other guys who created for us the website, and we're like, okay, we're looking. So they referred us to someone else. So this other person we called, Nini charged us. So he talked again and told us, quotation price, Ken?
12,000.
15.
15,000?
We negotiated.
Yeah, it was
$150.
Allah,
For a logo.
And you're
A small
budgeted
one.
for 2,000.
Hey. Well, like one, we've already paid the other guy a G. We don't have cash. Remember our website, we told those guys start.
Yeah.
Well, like now the budget is about 95, 100 Gs. Zero cash.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the logo was needed for, before the website, yeah. So we decided to pay that. I don't know how we got this money. I think we just hustled with Ken and looked for them. We paid that guy. He made us the logo. We negotiated to 12 Gs. We paid him. Then we got that. Then now we started slowly paying the guys for the website. So the how long did they take? They took some time. So we kept paying installments.
Yeah, it took almost like a month or two, I think, for them to like clear up the website. But because initially, like the logo guy took about a week or two.
Yeah, the
These
logo guy
guys-
took some time.
Yeah, then these other guys took about 2 months.
But he did
or
a
something.
phenomenal job.
Yeah, he did
It was,
very, very. It was worth it. It was worth the 12,000.
yeah.
Honestly, even the websites that we first created was worth the 12,000. So
The
everything.
website or logo?
Okay, the website and the logo were both the amount that we paid for it. But the logo was 12,000 and the website was 80,000. So what I was trying to say basically was, it's worth to pay some amounts for
A lesson you
certain
learned.
things. Yeah, for certain things to go your way, you really need to like
Go out of your
go to
comfort
your
zone.
way, yeah, and try to stretch yourself a bit. If you really, really focus on taking cheap things, you may have a lot of bad things in your way or in your image, which is not something that I think anyone wants.
Yeah, so going on, we just now website was ready, up and running. We paid these guys, fully paid. Now we started putting articles. And it was me, Taras, Ken, Malims, and we have to give a shout out to Wahito,
Karanja, Marianne.
Marianne. She was part of the team back
She
then.
actually introduced Lawi to trading.
Yeah, she's the
She
one who
was, yeah?
introduced me,
Yeah, it was. We were a team of 5 at that time. So me and Ken had like a small, nice house in Zimmerman. That's where the office was. Everyone used to come, and we all write articles and post on the site. Post. So as we continue doing that, people were saying this was nice stuff. We should do videos. Then that's where we had you remember we kept an article where we talked about challenges in Forex in Kenya, which had a buzz.
Yeah.
Then now we decided this can do well when we do it on video format. Luckily, I had gone to ADMI, so I had a background in film and TV. I could shoot and I could edit. So it was a skill. So we didn't have to outsource that because that could be a problem. So we started our YouTube channel. I think the first we did was quite shady. It's still there. If you go to a YouTube Financial Hub on YouTube, go to the very first video down there. It was the audio was bad. Everything was bad. So people got back to us, told us, work on your audio, work on this and this. So it was good feedback. And then now from there is when we started peaking. So our YouTube channel is when we started. That was in 2018. And it's grown every single week. These days we post stuff on our YouTube channel. So when that started growing, now we knew people are learning from us and we need to do now a course. So now we started, before we did the course, now we're writing articles, we're doing the YouTube. Now we decided to write a book.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, yeah, Taras. So we met, all of us, sat down and discussed, okay, we're going to write a book and give people where they can, instead of going online and reading everything and not know what to use, we wanted to simplify everything and put it in one place so that everyone can learn. So we're doing that, and at the same time we're also doing the course. So we decided to do video formats of course, and we started cheap. We were just using my phone. I just gotten a new phone that time. We decided to use it. It was very bad quality. If you look at it these days, we're like, what were we doing? But you start with what you have. It's a lesson entrepreneurs learn, I'm sure. Like Ken was saying, start with what you have at the very basic level. Don't wait for so much money or for someone to come and fund you. Start with what you have. So short courses, I was editing them. We were in the house. We were working, I think, 18-hour days. We were doing a lot. We did a lot. So Taras used to come with Malims. They used to come to the Zimmerman house. We sit down. We go through how far have you reached. So everyone had goals and all that. And it was going quite well. So luckily, how long did it take us to finish the book?
How can I remember?
That's long.
But yeah,
It was like a thesis. Guys who were in university, it was a long one. It was a
That was our project. So like when other
was our
guys were doing
dropout
their
project.
projects, yeah. So
Then I
we
remember
decided to do
when we
that.
finished the book, there was one meeting where we just came to read the book.
Yeah, I
So everyone
remember.
was reading what he wrote.
Yeah. So you scrutinize everyone. How did you come to that? Like, we didn't want to just write something and put it out there. We wanted to give authentic stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember there was a time, I got tired. We were talking about one sentence. Ken and Tara started arguing about it. And mind you, these guys can argue. That day, that story ended there. We argued the whole day. Imagine, about just one sentence. And our book is like, what, 190 pages?
Yeah, about 200 pages.
Yeah, about 200 pages. So we argued about that. But later on, we met, like Taras was saying, and we finished going through the book. The book was ready. We gave it to be edited. Our editor took some time, took about 3 months. Yeah?
Did we write the free ebook first? Or
No. We wrote the big book first, then we came up with the ebook from the big book. So the ebook was actually like something that was
Which is free.
scrapped out of the book.
Yeah.
But,
The main
not
book.
done well, yeah. So it was
done well, but not
not
in depth.
detailed, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was not detailed like the main book that we did.
So we have
That is the
that.
point, yeah.
We send to people who, if you're interested and you know us, we can send it to you. It's an ebook, just introduction to Forex.
Yeah.
Before you come and take the main one. So yeah, so that time personally, I'm doing the videos and editing about plus 100 plus videos. Yeah, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 100 plus. I was doing them in the house, shooting, editing. And then we finished that. Now everything was ready. Now we wanted to launch.
Yeah.
So when we went, that was in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember we had a delay. Then I had to travel to UK.
Yeah.
I traveled to the UK, stayed there for 6 months.
Yeah.
When I was in the UK is when you and Taras and Malims,
Malims, yeah.
you guys decided to launch it.
Yeah.
So we just launched it online. It wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't a big thing, yeah.
We launched it. And also that same 2019 is when we registered Financial Hub. So that's when we started. So yeah, we launched it. And I think we got our first clients first week.
The second, yeah. I think we launched it on Monday and on Friday. Because the course was actually something that people were looking forward to. So when we were launching, we were not launching without a target market or something. So I think we launched it on Monday or something. Then on Friday, I had someone sign up already for the course. So,
On Friday, yeah?
Yeah, on Friday. I remember it was someone who was watching and following us from YouTube.
It was a lady, yeah?
It was a lady, yeah.
Yeah, ladies, you guys help us a lot. You never think about things that much, which helps. Well, not that it's a bad way not to think about things much, but us guys can take quite some time. We're quite logical, so we take a lot of time to think. But yeah, so we got our first client. That time was still in the UK, no office. That time Ken is trading and Taras, these guys are milking the market. They're making a lot of money month in, month out. And also some other online stuff. So then I came back in December. So I stayed there from August to December. When I came back January, we met with the team, and Ken, I remember it was with Ken. Taras wasn't around that time, so it was Ken and Malims. And Ken told me, yo, Caleb, in order for us to grow this thing, we need to get an office. So he told me he's been looking for offices. And I was like, cool. So we went to 2 places. One was in View Park. The other one was in Jayquat Towers.
Lawi also there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Now this was the next, I think after 2 days or so.
Yeah.
We went now physically, all of us. And did you want to tell them how? Okay, it was my first time. That you guys had seen both of them. You had been there before, yeah?
Yeah, so we'd been there before. We'd looked at both offices. Like we'd compared the prices. So we wanted to make a final decision. So we wanted everyone to see first of all what we had, the options we had, and then we could make a final decision. So The good thing about a startup when you're starting out is you can coordinate people very easily because it's only 3 or 4 people. So you just call 1, 2, 3 people and then you decide, okay, we're going to go with this decision. So by then, like when Caleb was away, actually, he forgot to mention. So I'd met with very many people, but I'd observed that the people I met were really interested in what we were doing, but were wondering why didn't we have an official place or a formal place.
Used to meet them where?
So I'd meet them in restaurants, yeah. So I'd meet people. I'd met a couple of people. So, but people always like after they knew like we never had an official place or an office, they'd like shy off and be
so
like,
you lose sales.
Exactly. So we were not really moving ahead. So I remember telling Caleb, we are trading, we're doing this, but all this money is useless to us if you're not growing in this other side. So we decided to take that gamble. But now I'd seen those offices, and then now it was about just making a decision which office to take. But we obviously took the one which was more appealing, had better aesthetics, and looked like a better place for us, because the other one was, again, like we said in the first time, quite shoddy. It was not really a very, very good place.
Which one? The one in Viewpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. It's it's bad. Like literally bad. If you're talking about money and you go there, you will not remove any money from your pocket.
Yeah.
It was totally bad. Going to the second one, I was like, don't think it was expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive.
The second one, the first one was, the goodness was, it was cheap.
Cheap things are always always like that. So if you find yourself going for the cheap things, then you're missing out on like quality, and I feel like that's an important aspect. If you'll be here for a short time, like we know.
Yeah, because we had learned it before. Cheap, nah. So that one
actually it wasn't that cheap. It was around.
It was around
40,000.
Yeah.
And comparing with this other one, it was about 60. So it was a better.
Yeah, around 60, 65.
Yeah.
Because now this other side, it was better. It looked classy. If you've been to our offices, I'm sure you've seen them. Or if you've seen our Instagram or our stories, we normally post it. It's way class. It's as better. The other side, the good thing we didn't even get Viewpark is because there's the company WebLink. Remember those guys who conned people? Interweb.
Yeah.
So if we got the Interweb, they con people a lot of money. So if we took there, people will just say, those guys for Viewpark will be part of them.
Yeah.
But the place for where we got Jaqua Towers, it was at Rigas. It's called Rigas. So they give you a lot. You have a receptionist. You have your own office. You have meeting rooms. You have places for snacks. You have a microwave. You have a lot. Good people to meet around. You have a business lounge. So that's what we got, and we didn't even think twice. We didn't know how we'd pay that rent month in, month out.
Yep.
But that's how we started the office, and that's how we got. So we just started before the financial crash, the pandemic.
The coronavirus.
We started in Feb. Coronavirus lockdown went in March. And that's when now we're like, how will we pay this thing? And people are not coming. But anyway, we survived. I'm sure we'll talk more about it later on. It's quite a long story.
Yep.
But that's how we came. That's how we started Financial Hub. That's how we got into Forex, all of us. And that's how we are where we are today. We've survived. As Ken said, we have a fund. We're trading $20,000 plus, which we are slowly growing. We don't take outside funds, so we basically hustle all this cash. We don't trade for people. It's against CMA rules. Because I remember we were once called with Ken to CMA to talk about markets. They were looking for people who are conning people, and they had called us to their offices, but they found us quite authentic, and they gave us the go-ahead because we weren't taking people's money. But yeah, so that's Forex. That's how our journey has been.
Yep.
I believe. With Taras, Ken here. Now it's down to the 3 of us. The others left.
Yeah, so when you're in a journey and things get tough sometimes, like it's easy for other people. I think that comes back down to your temperament, your beliefs, and some of these things that you have for yourself. So if you're really resilient, I don't think actually Lawi tells me he doesn't think anyone can make it in trading without resilience. I have come to believe that also. So it's very, very
trading is mentally tough, financially tough. You lose money. Hey, it's just tough, man.
It's very,
you're not being supported by your parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No one understands your problems.
No one understands you. So just surviving in the markets, to push, to learn, it needs a lot of resilience, and I think also passion.
And passion, So passion and resilience. So
it's a calling.
Yeah,
we normally say
most people come here because of money. You see, but the money is so far-fetched. Like
so close but so far away.
Yeah, it's so close but so far away. So like before everything clicks in, now
you
you
start making money
consistently, at least with a good system. It takes time.
Yeah.
Most people choose to go for employment. So
yeah, especially the first thing that we really need to talk about is, if you have an option B, you won't make it in trading.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have an option B, you won't make it in trading.
First thing, yeah.
Do you remember that trader on the traders podcast
on the
Chartered
traders, yeah,
who said
Does
for
it
him
just
trading it had to work or he had to kill himself. So he had to just push.
Yeah, and I
until
don't think
it
there's
worked.
anyone who succeeded in trading who had options B or C or D. If you have such options, if you've not decided this is what you're going to do till you die, you may give up at some point, because it gets really, really tough.
Because mind you, as you've dropped out.
Yeah,
As you've dropped out, there's nothing to fall back on.
Exactly, you can't fall back on anything. So
Parents won't support you.
exactly, you have to support
You
yourself.
can't go back to school because you don't like the system.
Exactly. So that's one thing that I think. And the bad thing about trading, because I've met different people doing trading in different ways. So when you're just walking around, like there was this day I was going to industrial area to look for some engine. Yeah, so I was in Inda, nilikuwa natafuta engine ya gari. So nikiongea tu na jamaa, then I saw he removes the phone and he looks at me at trader. Then I'm like, hey, you guy, you also trade? He's like, yeah, I trade. I make decisions in the market. And I'm like, okay, how do you make decisions in the market? So the guy is basically a gambler. So he puts in money, and if the thing is going up, he is very, very willing to bet on it. Do you have a stop loss? No, he never cuts his losses. That's his strategy. Like
he does what he adds money.
Yeah, he adds money into the account. So the other day, someone was like polishing my shoes and washing my shoes in town, and then I just...
You also saw that?
Yeah, so I was puzzled. Like,
he did
Steve-O,
what?
you remember?
Yeah, Steve-O.
So he was checking his phone and he was trading. And then when I asked him, okay, also how do you make decisions? How do you trade? What he described to me was a recipe for failure. So I don't even know where to start now with such people. And you know, the bad thing about people is when you just meet someone, you can't tell them you're doing something in a wrong way. I think you really have to let people like fail, and then they can maybe come back to you if they are really interested in knowing it. But I feel like there are very, very, very many people who are doing trading in the wrong way. Like, it's not clicking because you're very, very far away from what you really need to be doing to, like, even stand a chance to succeed. Like, stand a chance, not even to make money.
Also,
stand a chance.
Let's say why trading is, trading is not like mechanical engineering. It's
so
easy.
Exactly.
Yeah, from one guy can read a book and understand trading.
Yeah.
I think the main problem now comes in our human nature fucks up the whole process. The whole process. Yeah. Hope, greed, fear, such things makes trading hard. Yeah. Also,
very hard.
Yeah. Also, system development. People don't have that.
Yeah.
Using signals. You see, a lot of things just make people lose money in trading. Because I know a lot of people. Hey, I have traded before, but I don't think I know someone personally who has traded for 5 years consistently profitably. Maybe just
even unprofitably. I feel like someone who's traded inconsistently for 5 years has something to show, unlike someone who, because most people we meet, they normally tell you they've traded for a month or two, then they've stopped, or I put in some money, then I lost it and I decided to put it on a break. I feel like those things, like for me, if I was to be asked why I'm still trading, there was no point where I was like, I'm stopping to trade. Like, I've never gotten to that level. Even when you lose money, you're always thinking, where will I get the next bunch of capital to put into this thing? Like, where will I get some more money to put into this thing? If you don't have that as a mentality, if you're not really thinking in those directions, then I think there's a high chance, again, you won't go far in the markets. So,
and for you, Taras, why are you still trading?
Passion.
5 years down the line. Passion.
Yeah, it's passion. I've not made millions yet, but at least I'm surviving. So I think for me it's passion, and the need to be successful in a very, very hard industry comes with a feeling of satisfaction.
Yeah. So the challenge, the intellectual challenge that's there is also quite interesting. And for you?
For me, what?
Why are you still trading?
Money. Money.
Money.
It's a long-term goal.
But anyway, money is a long-term goal. These days we can make $200 a day. Ken over here has made $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
That's in 120 G's or something.
Yeah. And I've also lost $1,000 in a day. Let's not only focus on the positive side.
You've lost as well.
So I've lost also as well.
Yeah, these things happen, but you grow mentally and strong. So as Ken was asking, why am I still trading? Mainly because as Taras was saying, it's a good challenge to give yourself. Look, I have nothing to fall back to. It's either this or this. Okay, so I want to prove myself wrong and get into that 1% of the people who are successful. With time, if you do it deliberately, you can get there. So that's why I keep pushing. And also, I get a lot of good, or I feel good, or get, what's the feeling? I feel joy seeing that we are teaching people and they're learning a new skill. This is something they'll get for life. Like it's a skill they'll have for life. Imagine you've just taught someone how to make money. You've changed this person's life. So I think there's a good feeling out of that, which we wouldn't have gotten it if we didn't start Financial Hub. But seeing people doing good things, you're totally happy. And shout out to those students of ours who have been trading well. It's a good feeling. So that's why I'm still trading. And just as we finish off every podcast we'll be talking about some financial fact for the day, so that we can give you people information about what happens around the world. So today's financial fact comes from Ken. Ken, we call Ken Paps. So if you hear us saying Paps, Ken, just understand that it's one and only Ken. So Paps.
And it's a nickname from since he was a baby.
Yeah.
Go mind him as Papa. Pororo.
If you ask for Ken, you won't find him. Anyway, so like Caleb said, I think today we're going to learn from a research that was done by a company called Knight Frank. So it's a company that focuses on financial research. And I was surprised to learn that I only need $20,000 in my net worth to join the 1% in Kenya. So if you have 2 million and above in your bank account, or if you have 2 million worth of assets, you have joined the 1% in Kenya. That tells you how much work needs to be done for us to improve our living standards. Like we really, really need to raise that bar for us to move forward. So that was a research done by Knight Frank. We like reading such researches and coming up with new ways. So I had a couple of questions to ask also, like as we clear up. So one of the questions I was to ask was, what do you think you'd have learned earlier? Or what do you think was more valuable for you to learn faster and you'll have made better progress? And like where you are right now. We'll start off with Lawi.
For me, as a risk manager, I think risk is what I have learned the importance of risk in trading. So, risk and psychology.
Yeah.
So handling those two things, you can survive in the markets. At least I'm not saying you'll make money, but at least you'll survive.
Don't make money. That's not the holy
But
grail.
Exactly,
it's
survive.
important to explain to people how easy it is to lose money in the markets, because it's easier to lose money than to make money in the markets. The opportunities to lose money are infinite.
Exactly.
The mistakes you can make are infinite. So for you to make money, I think, like you said, it's not something that can be easily done.
Yeah, it needs we have a friend called Gitosh. That guy says you have to spend more than 10 years at least for you to first say. So for us, we have 5 years more to at least say now we are at least successful traders. Yeah. So
and Gitosh is a successful trader. We'll bring him one day here.
Yeah.
So we have to give a shout out to him. He's been trading since 2006.
6
I was in class 4 or 5 at that time, so it makes sense.
He's doing a good stuff at the moment. He's trading a lot of funds. So he's a big name to know, especially if you're in Kenya. So we'll introduce him. He's called Michael Gitonga, but we call him Gitosh. That's what we call him. So to answer, Taras, you're done, finished?
Yeah.
Just ask your question once more time.
What do you think you'd have learned, or what valuable insight you've learned so far that if you learned faster, you'd have made progress faster?
I think the main thing is don't fear failing. Like you'll make losses in this thing. You're going to make a lot of losses. And long term, it used to really hurt your psychology. Like you've lost so much, you can't trade, you don't want to trade anymore. You don't believe in yourself. Confidence is down, and the market doesn't care about that. If you lose, if you make, it doesn't care. You just have to control yourself. So controlling your emotions. So if I could understand that long time, like when we were blowing money and you're like, I don't understand this. Well, starting off, you really need to know that you're not good at this. So it's not that anything about fear or anything. It's just that you don't understand. But later on, when you start getting money, you start understanding, okay, if I lose and start being fearful, it won't really help. So if I knew that earlier on, and also having good capital. That's where we found people. We started with small capitals, and that thing is dangerous. You think you know about the markets. We find people. You remember the guy came to our office. He's made from the guy who made 4 million.
Yeah.
Some young guy.
Yeah, there was a guy who made 4 million and lost it all. You're not in the office that day?
The one who was trading for an American guy?
Yeah. So
he made 4 million in 3 weeks?
Yeah, in 3 weeks, and he lost
Some
it all.
young guy.
And he was chasing 5 million. 5 million was the target.
Just before he got 5 million.
So close.
He was so close.
All of it went.
So he was so close to attaining the goal.
So capital is important, because if you have capital, as Taras was saying, you can understand risk management and psychology. Without capital, we see people coming, I'm feeling bad. I lost $2,000, like $2,000 of Kenya shillings. Like, I lost 2,000 Kenya shillings. You're like, hey, my guy, uko na jani, barabara uko nayo. So those small accounts, it's like gambling. If you really want to trade properly, start with 100,000 going up. We can even tell you $5,000. You need substantial amount of money, such that if you lose 10 times in a row, your money will still be there to trade another day. But if you have 1,000, as Taras was saying, started with 1,000. Even if you made 20%, that's what we were saying in the beginning. That was a lot. Yeah. Making 200 bob on $1,000 or 1,000 Kenya shillings. That's a lot. That's 20% return. That's what SIB made the other year. So, but anyway, those are my takeaways, Ken.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like to add on to what you guys have said, like for me, there are two things. One is understand that it will take time. Like make peace with that. Like if you're joining trading, understand that it will take time. It's not something that will fix you up in a year or two. Because I get people coming to the office and they're telling you that I'm planning to learn how to trade, then I will resign my job and I will start doing this full time. Now,
what do you tell them?
And I'm planning to resign in just 6 months. Learn kitu nimevisha, resign.
Quick.
My friend, it doesn't work that way. If you're joining to trade, and the second one is intertwined with the first one, so it will take time. And the second one is have a career plan. Have a plan. Trading, if you just join it and you don't have a plan on how you're going to even learn it and progress and move from step A to step B to step C, it's going to be very, very difficult. Part of having the plan for me would be get someone who's been doing it. Like for us, meeting Gitosh has really been helpful. Like we've learned a lot from just interacting with him.
And we've changed a lot in our strategy.
Exactly. Just listening to him, even understand the valuable points where you should really, really focus on. So looking for someone to not teach you their strategy. I'm not saying that, but for someone to tell you that for now, focus on understanding, because there are different stages. Like focus on understanding probably the analysis part. Then you can focus on now risk and psychology. Like Caleb is saying, you polish that side. Then you focus now on leveraging and bringing in more funds. Because there's a reason why some people like us who really believe that we are not so bad in trading, we're actually doing it well, but you have not decided to still pursue other people's money. I think Lawi can expound on taking other people's money. He has some real experience on taking other people's money and what happened after that. And people don't understand it.
You can also tell us about that. Your auntie's money.
So when you take people's money and they don't understand what you're doing, they don't even understand. You can't even explain to someone how you lost money. I feel like avoid it. Just avoid it. Because like Caleb said, let me start with my story. So when I was learning how to trade, I decided to go to one of my favorite aunties and tell her that...
Favorite? Is she still your favorite?
Yeah, she's still my favorite. So
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to her. So she decided to give me 50,000 and to go and trade with. So I took the money, and the agreement was we'd never agreed that I'd give her some profit splits or anything. But the agreement was, if you can trade this 50,000 well, if you can put that money and multiply it well over a period of time, then we can be able to at least fund you more money, and now from that you can come up with a good contract. So I was given 50,000. I was a very, very happy man. I decided to put the money in the account. So I deposited, I think it was EGM or something. Back then the brokers had officially come. So I deposited the 50,000 and started trading. Not until I took a euro-yen position. So I was trading heavily. So I took a euro-yen trade and the trade started moving against me. So for me, one of the biggest weaknesses I had while I was trading was accepting the fact that you can be wrong, and you will be wrong very many times. In fact, more times than you think you'll be right. So that was one of the challenges I had. So when people tell me they don't cut off their losses, or they don't close off losses, or they never lose money, they're always right, I just laugh at them, because I've done that mistake and it cost me a lot of money. So I had 50,000, took some euro-yen trades. They were moving against me, and I decided to remove my stop loss from where it was and move it to some other place. When you start playing those games, you never finish moving them. So I moved my stop from point 1 to point B. When it gets closer to point B, move it from B to C, C to D, D to E. Anyway, to cut the long story short, I was in the trade for a whole month. So for a whole month, I was holding this position.
A losing position for a whole month. And I decided to do something else that was wrong. Instead of just holding one position, I decided to add into the losing positions. So the idea was, if markets can come back, I can put some more risk at this level, and as they come back, I can make some money. So I decided to add some risk into some of these trades. But the markets just kept on moving higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So by the end of the day, I think I'd lost about $350 from that experience. I decided to close off the trades that I had. So nika close off hizo position, 350 yangu imeenda, nimebaki na 150. They decided to go to coast to the $150. Yeah, we went to coast.
I decided there's no point for me to continue trading. I've already done a very, very grave mistake. I don't think I can recover my $500.
Favorite auntie.
Yeah, I've not told her. I'm still hustling the 50K to give back to her.
Now you're a rich man.
So anyway, to cut the long story short, I think it's very, very important. In your early days, if you don't have 5 years of a track record trading your own personal money profitably, don't take on someone else. Don't take on someone else.
So we can end off
on that. At least nowadays, there are funding programs.
Yeah,
it's easier to get capital now.
Exactly.
So leverage.
2 years ago, who would give you $1,200?
No one.
Kenya.
No one.
We're the first in Kenya.
Not even in Kenya, in Africa. In Africa, there's no one funding people.
At least
So
it's a
shout
good
out
step.
to Michael.
Yeah, it's a good step, man.
That idea.
So
Michael Gitosh.
if you because 1,200, actually, if there were such programs back then, it was easier for you to pay like 6K for you to get 1,200.
Yeah, true.
It will make sense, especially if you're learning, because you're just starting out. So you just take the 1,200 and then you start with it or something. So that's it. Go to prop firms, interact with traders. If you come to me and I fund you $500, I'm not funding you with an intention of making money. I know you'll lose my money. So at least I've made peace with that, because I'm a trader. I understand what you're going to do. But if you go to someone who's working, because I've had stories of people who actually took their salaries, someone takes 60,000 of their salary for this month, decides to give it to a trader who promised to give them 24-25% return. I think we'll expound on some of these topics as we do other episodes. So for the first episode, we were just introducing. But there's a lot that's going on in Kenya right now about trading that is making trading look like something very, very shoddy, something that you can't do to earn a living. And I feel like all these people are wrong. By the end of the day, I think with time, we'll be able to filter out the bad things and come up with what's valuable. But as we start out, there is a lot of shoddy work going on. So you really have to think hard before you make some decisions. And part of thinking hard is looking at the regulations. You can look at CMA and find advice from people who are valuable or people who are doing something valuable. So just don't rush into taking other people's money or mastering trading. Sure. And that's why I said it takes time. It takes time. You'll get there, but it will take time. So be patient. Yep.
So to end it off, so Taras will share a story today or next time. Kiambu story.
No.
Not yet.
Not today. We will talk about it. It needs a whole story, man.
We have a lot of stories.
We have a lot of stories.
I was actually in that mix because you guys used my account, yeah?
Yeah.
That was almost hell what happened, but
it was a hell. But I think it needs its own podcast.
Yeah, that one we'll talk about it and trading people's money. We'll talk about it. That was one hell of an experience. Also, we have many stories that we keep sharing. Going to UK, what I did there, and how we came back, how we got money to start the office. We'll be sharing that. I think that's the entrepreneurial side of what we've gone through.
Yep.
And for now, we just wanted to introduce what to do, and that's what we do. So as I said, my name is CK. Please call me CK, not Caleb. CK is my name, CK the Trader. Taras on my right, and Ken or Pops on my left. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in.
Every Friday, there's an episode coming up, right?
Friday, how do you know it's Friday?
Because today's on Thursday, so I'm expecting tomorrow we'll have it. But anyway, every week we'll have one episode which we'll be posting. And we'll be focusing now on the serious topics about trading. So this was just an intro. If you're really interested in trading markets and understanding how they work, cryptos, markets, we have some insights on these things and we know how they work. And we'll be sharing them. So be ready for that.
Yeah, so that's it from Taras. Any remarks? Okay, Taras, wise man. Wise people say little things. But that's it from us. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I'm your host. Am I the host? I am your host.
You're the host?
CK. Yeah.
Okay.
The one and only. Later on, we'll be having people, interviews and all that. People.
Also, a good shout out to Trio Media.
Yeah. For first time, shout out to the guys here, Dagi and Nick, for giving us this opportunity and for future work together. So that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Outro hapo ingie.